Balitang Express!
Dr. Clarita Carlos, mainit na sinupalpa si Sen.Gordon sa loob ng Senado. Narito ang buong detalye sa video nito.
Itong BFA, yung ginawa namin ni IRR, kasi hindi ba Russia gusto talaga makipag-train sa atin? Last year, Japan already trained with us. Vietnam wants to train with us. China wants to train and exercise with us. Yes, this time, they are not exercising together to fight together. They are exercising against an enemy, and it's called the consequences of climate change. Iba na, hindi ba, Yusek? HADR na eh. Sana sinabi mo kanina na hindi na yung baligatan, sama-sama, etc. Iba na yung tono ng exercises. Buksan natin ang sarili natin sa India, Russia, all the others who would like to train and exercise with us. The alliance system is dead. Ngayon po, bilaterals na lang and multilaterals. Ideology is dead also. So, the alliance system is dead, and as I said, let us have a real rethinking of where we are.
BFA was born out of the mutual needs of the U.S. and the Philippines. Let's go back to 1992 when they left. Before that, practically all our equipment came from the U.S. So when they left, all the supplies of spare parts and everything dried up. So I think in 1992, we had about more than 100 helicopters flying and 5 C-130s. In 1999, when they came back, I think only 3 dozens of our helicopters were flying. So that is a lesson that I think we should learn very hard, that we cannot source our equipment from just one source. So we need, again, when they came back in 1998 and started...
Excuse me, sir. Would you say that even with the United States presence at that time, we could have built up relationships with other countries, buy our equipment with other countries at that time, or were we being held back?
Second,
In other words, can the Philippines buy aircraft from Israel? Can we buy aircraft from, as Indonesia has done, MiG-29s? They have that, or for that matter, Malaysia. Could we buy that without offending
Yes,
the Americans in terms of the agreement?
yes, Mr. Senator. In fact, I think the abrogation of the basis was predicated on the argument of the Senate then, that they can replace all the funds being given to the armed forces.
No, my point, sir, is para naghihintay tayo may mangyari. In other words, kung nandiyan na yung Amerikano, dapat sinamantala na natin, nag-build up na tayo, nag-concentrate tayo sa ating commercial capability, our economic capability, hindi tayo nagre-rely, and that's what I'm heading for right now. Kung pupuntahan natin yan at hindi tayo handa at mauubos na naman tayo sa pangako na magkakaroon na tayo ng strength in our capabilities, in our military, we will have more trade with the rest of the world, especially America, which is our #1 trading partner right now. If you're going to remove this, is that in the national interest really? Especially before, nandiyan ang Amerika, hindi makapasok yung kapitbahay nating malaki sa Scarborough Shoals. In fact, the Americans were using that as a bombing area, and our people could go there. Vietnam could go there. But magmula noon, hindi na tayo makapasok. And if you ask them, umalis na kayo dyan. Dati naman, nandiyan, naging isda kami, kaibigan namin kayo. Sasabihin nila ngayon, make me. Kaya nyo bang paalisin kami ang aming mga Coast Guard dito, ang aming mga military vessels dito? And what do? We become a pipsqueak of a nation. And that's why there is that deterrent na kung meron tayong alliance at meron tayong, and as we have that alliance, we build up, we will have more independent foreign policy. And my question to you, sir, is simply this. We have a budget of 197 billion pesos for our military. Is that correct, sir? 197 billion.
Yes, Senator.
And let me tell you the real politics of the matter. Hindi po ba totoo na 119 billion is used for personnel services?
Correct, Mr. Chair.
So, konti na lang ang natitira.
Yes, the 119 million is, I think, personnel services, and you have to add some more the pension fund of the retirees and the veterans.
That's correct, sir. Meron pa tayong problema sa pension funds, nalalaki. Na magkakaroon tayong problema, lumalaki taon-taon yan. Not to mention the fact that we still Abu Sayyaf, we still have NPA, And kailangan at the same time build up our Navy, build up our Coast Guard. So, ito na tanong ko, real politic, kailangan ba natin na magkaroon, kailangan ba natin alisin yan? Iyan tinatawag natin Visiting Forces Agreement. Not because of dependency, kasi kung aalisin yan, mangangako na naman tayo, papabuild up natin yan, nakalaan 30 years na itong nawala yung bases hanggang ngayon. I don't think, thank you Senate President Duterte, nakakuha tayo ng mga gamit, I don't think it's sufficient. Would you say it would be sufficient? I'm looking at Dr. Carlos, and after Secretary Lozana answers it, because we have to really look at it from an objective point of view. Because hindi naman pwede na aalis I don't want to go into a mischievous question, hindi porque nainis tayo sa kanila, nainis tayo sa mga senador ng Amerikano, hindi naman sila gagawa ng policy. Pwede naman natin silang sabihan, oy, hindi nyo pwedeng gawin yan. Ibabalikan natin sa policy ng gobyerno ng Amerika, tayo rin ang masasaktan. In other words, we're, what is the term, Teddy Boy? I'm sorry, we've been associated so long in Accra, we've had the Spanish-American War in Accra, and we're still continuing it here.
Your Honor, I would like to ask the National Security Advice.
Now, let me just, I just need to have this answered. Because the prevailing issue, every time we have an agreement, and that's why the Senate is involved in ratifying the agreement. That's why the founding fathers of the Constitution in 1987 said you have to have the Senate, is because kailangan malalaman natin ang national interest. Kailangan natin yan. Kung hindi natin gagawin, ibig sabihin, importante yan. Now, kung wala na yung national interest, ang tanong ko sa inyo ngayon, is it in our national interest to terminate the VFA at this point in time? At this point in time.
Mr. Chairman, may I give an input to that?
With all due respect to my good friend, Secretary Esperon, I'd like the Secretary of Defense to answer, and then from the academy, Secretary Carlos, or Dr. Carlos, and then Secretary Esperon. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Chair, I think our long-term interest is to be self-sufficient in our defense. We should have at least a minimum deterrent capability. Now, whether we need the BFA indefinitely, I think we do not need the BFA indefinitely. So we should use the interim to build up our capabilities.
That is something that we will not debate with you. As you know, we have always supported the military. But ang bagal hindi talaga umaabot I always use the word, make me. When you have an enemy and you say, get out of our territory, and he says to you, mas marami akong gamit sa'yo, make me. Just like Castro could not do anything about America when they were saying, remove Guantanamo from us, malis na kayo, sabi ng Amerikano, make me. Spratly, eto ngayon, Scarborough Shoals, make me. So I don't think I have my own views about it. I just wanted to get your own views, and because I respect you a lot. May I ask Dr. Carlos?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Why am I here? I think I was invited because I had been a senior consultant of the commission since 2013. Maybe a little bit of background. When we came in, when, what's his name, General Alban was there, he brought me there because he discovered that the VFA was ratified in 1999 and there was no IRR. In other words, whatever you have in the VFA were couched in broad strokes. And that's the reason why Smith, remember when the Americans questioned the concept of adequate facilities in our jails, the Americans questioned, of course, the adequacy of what we had, and that's the reason why binitbit nila si Smith sa loob ng embassy. So, what am I saying? What we're saying is that the IRR, which was finished in June 2016, was 16 years late. So before then, to be fair to the Americans, talaga nagwiwido sila kasi walang mga nitty-gritty on how in fact they will conduct themselves pagbaba dito. Halimbawa, no, with due respect to you, Sec. Rambuanga, nagdating na rito yung barko, tapos saka lang natin hihingin nyo, ano ba yung nasa loob ng barko nyo? Sino ba yung nandyan sa loob? Dapat
Nasabi po ba ninyo, excuse me if I may interrupt, no? unequal strengths are the result of an equal bargaining strength or an equal talent?
Not necessarily.
Well,
Remember,
16
you didn't
years.
have gun in your head when you ratified, I mean, you, not you, ha? The Senate ratified this in 1999. I'm sure hinimay nyo yan, ano? That's the reason why what we did, I mean, what we helped the commission with when we did the IRR is you cannot go beyond what is in the agreement. And if I may just give, konti lang kasaysayan kung bakit tayo ng BFA, no? Di ba pinalis natin Amerikano 1991 ba yun, 1992? You remember that time, wala pang ginagawa dun sa Mischief Free, para lang ano yan, fisherman's shelter, diba? Mga bamboo-bamboo lang. 1999, 1998, na-discover natin na hindi na siya mga bamboo dwellings, kundi they are really radar stations, very, very sophisticated radar stations, and certainly you're a stupid person if you think that it's just for a fisherman's haven. And that's the reason why, again, to be fair to the Americans, tayo na naglagay ng leg ng Mutual Defense Treaty dahil nasa Constitution natin na bawal na sila rito. And so, I prepared a one-page presentation here, but in brief, it simply says, you want to review it, review it. Anyway, dun sa dulo ng BFA, nakalagay naman dun, magbigay ka ng 180 days in writing, sabihin mo sa kanila. And as I said, to repeat, we were not under duress when we had this ratified. And security architecture has already changed. I remember Senator Gordon, na kwento ko na ata sa iyo noon na sometime in Washington, D.C., I delivered a paper on rendering the AFP obsolescent. Kasi parang huling-huli na kayo sa panahon, no? Ang dami-dami yung Philippine Army, etc. I'm sure maraming magagalit sa akin. Bago kayo magalit, basahin niyo muna yung paper ko, no? Imbis galit kayo nagalit, hindi nyo nakikita yung... The paper is really saying that wag na kayo nagre-recruit ng high school, puro PhDs ang i-recruit nyo kasi the war has transferred to cyberspace. So, hindi mo na nga kailangan, ilan ba kayo ngayon, Secretary Lonisana? Parang 160,000 kayo, no? Ang daming pinapasweldo natin, etc. So, bago natin ayusin itong BFA, bigla na natin sasabihin i-terminate, ayos muna natin yung geographical context ng security. It has changed so radically. It has changed so radically, and therefore you need a rethinking of what security looks like. And let's stop talking about sovereignty and territoriality. For God's sake, economies are in mesh already. Why are we talking about setting up these artificial boundaries? If I may give a side story, when I brought the National Defense College to Moscow, hindi pa ako nakakaupo. Ang unang tanong agad sa akin, Secretary Locsin, is, Dr. Carlos, why is the Philippines not buying from arms from us? Mas mura naman mga helicopter namin, tangke, etc. Sabi ko, oo nga, no, ba't nga? Sabi ko, well, first of all, we're not training with you. So, we're buying from the Americans because we're training with the Americans. And so, Your Honor, itong BFA, yung ginawa namin ni IRR, kasi hindi ba Russia gustong-gusto talaga makipag-train sa atin? Last year, Japan already trained with us. Vietnam wants to train with us. China wants to train and exercise with us. Yes, this time, they are not exercising together to fight together. They are exercising against an enemy, and it's called the consequences of climate change. Iba na, hindi ba, Yusek? HADR na yan. Sana sinabi mo kanina na hindi na yung balikatan, sama-sama, etc. Iba na yung tono ng exercises. And so if you want to review it, let us review the whole thing. EDCA, SEB, Securities Engagement Board, Mutual Defense Treaty. Reviewin natin lahat. And tama ka, Senator Gordon, ano? Buksan natin ang sarili natin sa India, Russia, all the others who would like to train and exercise with us. The alliance system is dead. Ngayon po, bilaterals na lang and multilaterals. Kung sino man magbili ng ating pineapple, etc., virgin coconut oil, dyan tayo. Ideology is dead also. So, the alliance system is dead, and as I said, let us have a real rethinking of where we are.
At yan ang ating balita. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay. Ito ang Balitang Express.